What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Andrew Jensen. It's awesome to see your faces again. Haven't seen you in a few days. I guess the last time I saw you or spoke to you was Friday after Q School, when I just kind of let it all out. I didn't expect such a response, honestly. I almost wanted to disable the comments when I first uploaded it because I didn't want people to I don't know, like feel sorry for me or anything like that, because it wasn't meant to be like that. It was just meant to show some honest reaction. All that ended up happening was the comments were just flooded with paragraphs and of support, but also people talking about how they deal with adversity and resiliency, and it's really cool seeing just tons of people come together, just talk about perseverance, and it's really special. So thank you guys all so much for all the comments, all the thumbs ups. It was really overwhelming. It's been 5 days off of golf. The car's empty. I've taken all my clubs out, taken all my shoes out, cleaned it. Just very symbolic of taking some rest. But I did post on Instagram and Twitter this morning to do the April Q&A. So let's head on out to the beach, relax a little bit, get my feet in the sand, and I can tackle some of your questions out there. So let's go. Alright guys, this could prove to be an awful idea because the wind might be really bad out here, but we'll give it a try for a couple questions and then I'll check and then hopefully we're okay. What is the plan going forward after last week? Are we going to do Monday qualifiers for the Canadian Tour or what? My plan going forward is I'm going to go back to Canada at the end of April and play the Great Lakes Tour schedule and the CCPT schedule. Those two tours are a great option. They're really inexpensive for what you're playing for, and good golf on those tours goes a long way. There's exemptions into Canadian Open qualifying on the line, there's exemptions into PGA Tour Canada events, and I'll also try to Monday qualify maybe an event or two on the PGA Tour Canada, maybe ask for an exemption, see how that goes. If I can play my way into some PGA Tour Canada tournaments, you never know, the sky's the limit. But that's the plan going forward. Also US Open qualifying and Canadian Open qualifying. And that's another question that I did see as I scanned these. I'm gonna be doing US Open qualifying in Rochester, New York. That's the local qualifying site that I've picked. What do you do to get refocused after a bad round? You just gotta let it go. Even after I played poorly on Wednesday of last week, eventually I did let it go when I got refocused, and I just, even though I kind of knew that it was highly unlikely for me to get a tour card with those 2 rounds left, I refocused and I just tried to find something to draw on and motivate myself. So you just have to kind of let it pass, and if it means being down, if it means being frustrated, you let those emotions come and then they go. But when we try to suppress them, that's almost harder, and that makes bouncing back even harder, because when we play bad golf, we know it's not the golf that we're able to play. So we need to find something from that to motivate ourselves to do better the next day or the next event. And if that means switching up the practice, switching up the approach, switching up the focus, the mental attitude, the emotional connection, that's kind of unique to you and your game and your preparation. But you just gotta let it go. Really, it's no different than a bad day. Some days are good, some days are bad, and this has nothing to do with golf. And bad days, you deal with it, you express the emotion, and then you let it go, and you know that tomorrow is a new day. And sometimes easier said than done, but that's kind of how I go about it. I know that tomorrow's round is a new round. Who's my pick to win the Masters? Rory McIlroy. I'm picking Rory to win the Masters. You heard it here first. I'm gonna jump over to Instagram now, and I do know on first glance there was tons of questions there, so I do apologize if I don't get to all of them. Where are some places you'd like to travel this year? I would love to go somewhere and not play golf. I know Kelly and I have talked about Europe or something like that, so that'd be a great place to get to. Portugal, the Amalfi Coast, those places are high on my bucket list. Peru, Machu Picchu, that's high. So I think those would be some places I'd love to go to come this fall. Have I ever been to the Masters? No, I haven't. My parents have, but I haven't. What would I consider a successful year? I think I'd consider a successful year if I can win. I won last year, so if I can win something this year, if I can be in the positive financially, and ultimately if I just continue to enjoy what I'm doing. If I fall out of love with it or I hate doing it, that's not success. So I think that would be a successful year in terms of my career. Do you consider playing at Q School for the Web.com tour or European tour in the fall? Yeah, absolutely. If I can justify if the money's in the bank to do that, 100%. I want to go to one of those Q schools in the fall. Drastic jump cut there. It was just way too windy out at the beach. My camera kept falling over and the battery died. So I took that as a sign to just move someplace a little more stable. So I'm at the little beachfront park just down the street. So let's keep going to these questions. Where the heck was I? Drake Smith. It's a long one, but it's kind of about my age and how I've mentioned my age. What are my thoughts on age and if it's really a factor in success? And I don't think it's a factor in success. The golf ball doesn't know how old I am, but there's all the other factors that come into play. When you're younger, players are more attractive to sponsors. There's more upside. I guess if you were to look at a business-wise, like a startup versus a struggling independent business, the startup has probably more upside. And then age, your body doesn't recover as fast, you have more scar tissue. So I think that's the only real factors that I can think about when it comes to age. I don't think I'm too old. I feel young and all of that. And like when I'm out on the golf course, I was playing with guys in college during Q School, and there's no real difference in our games. I just think that having other people support and believe in you, that's a huge thing in professional golf, especially because there's people that want to sponsor you and back you and endorse you and all of that. And when you're younger, it's a little easier to get that. And when you're older, it's harder because people think, well, if you haven't done it now, what makes us think you're going to do it ever? So I think that's the biggest factor that age can play in this sport. Why do you still decide to play professional golf even after playing on the mini tours for a lot of years? Are you coming back to Highlands again this year? Well, I'll practice at Highlands when I'm in Ottawa. There's no tour event at Highlands this year. And why do I still decide to play professional golf? Because I love it and I believe in myself. And that's about it. And I have a dream that I want to chase, but I'm very realistic. I take every year as it comes and I reevaluate at the end of every year, because there isn't a blank check. There is other things in my life that maybe will become more important, but I'm still playing because it's my passion, I love it, and there's nothing else that I would want to do. This YouTube channel has opened up a little bit of a new avenue and a passion and maybe a career after golf, or if golf doesn't pan out. But in terms of that question maybe being posed as like, oh, well, you're playing mini tours and you're not playing big tours, that really doesn't matter, because there's a lot of guys that you'll never hear about who are making a living doing what they love and they're playing on mini tours. And maybe they get their break and they play their way to a PGA Tour event or a Web.com event, and then you begin to hear about them. But there's a lot of players out there that are maybe club pros that play events here and there and make good money doing it. And there's a lot of guys that stay in the southeast or stay over on the west coast because they don't want to travel and they have a home life, but they play mini tour golf and they make money playing mini tour golf. So in terms of that, I still think I'm honing my skills and I'm sharpening myself as a player, that if my opportunity comes to compete at a higher level, I'll be able to succeed and run with it. But in the interim, in the meantime, if I can have a good season in Toronto and Quebec this coming year and make a living, loosely make a living, pay my bills essentially, then that's okay. Even if it doesn't mean playing on PGA Tour Canada where the purses are bigger and the stature of the events are bigger. It's like guys in the NHL that maybe have to go play in the KHL for a little bit. They're still playing and they still love it, and I think that's kind of the athlete passion that drives me. Why am I deciding to go play in Canada instead of staying down here in Florida? Well, it's better money in Canada. The margins are much better. The mini tours down here, the margins aren't great, they're expensive. The payout's not as good as this circuit in the Great Lakes Tour and the CCPT. And also, I'm a Canadian. My visa doesn't allow me to stay down here for an entire year, so it's a pretty easy decision for me. A lot of people think mini tour golf is just in the southern states, but in my honest opinion, the best mini tour opportunity in North America is the Great Lakes Tour and the CCP Tour. For what you're paying and what you're playing for, there's nothing that compares to it. There's some good mini tours down here that are 4-day events that your purses are $100,000 to $150,000, but you're paying $1,000 in an entry fee, whereas back up there, like, we've got $100,000 tournaments with a $300 entry fee. In terms of the expenses versus the payout, nothing compares to what is offered in Toronto and Ontario, and that's really awesome because the Great Lakes Tour has been around for a while and went through some lows, but it's been revitalized, and I'm happy to be a part of that because it is the best opportunity, 100%. Have I ever thought about coaching? No, I haven't. I've had people ask me questions and messages for a little advice here and there because of some videos here, and I think my videos have helped players, and that's really cool. But I think if anyone that watches this channel sees, all I've really done is talk about more how to practice and how to play the game, not necessarily the swing technique. I don't know if I'd be a good coach for teaching the golf swing. Maybe if I had studied the golf swing and did all that, but I've never really thought about coaching. I think this outlet is probably the extent that I would be in terms of a coach. I could be a performance coach, that would be something, but definitely not like a swing coach or a swing instructor like that. What is favorite thing about your YouTube channel? Favorite thing about golf? Favorite thing about your girlfriend? Favorite thing about Canada? This is posted by my girlfriend. My favorite thing about the YouTube channel is the interaction with all of you guys. That is so cool. My favorite thing about golf is just the feeling of, like, when you hit a good shot and it's like, oh, like, it's the best feeling ever. Favorite thing about my girlfriend, her like heart, her support. She's my rock. It's amazing. Favorite thing about Canada, Poutine. Poutine, maybe. And what am I looking forward to most in 2018? Playing in Canada all summer, because it's gonna kick some butt. That's what I'm really looking forward to. I'm gonna end on this one. If there was one golf course I could play, where would it be and why? Augusta. I mean, it's Masters Week. Augusta. Nothing compares to Augusta. The opportunity to play that would be the best thing ever. And I've always said since I was a young boy, like, I'll never even want to go to Augusta until I'm in the tournament. I'd still like to hold on to that, but that's the place I like to play more than anything else. And the why, it's obvious. It's Augusta National. Nothing compares to it. That's probably a pretty good way to end. Guys, enjoy the Masters this weekend. Enjoy WrestleMania if you like the WWE like me. Give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. It's probably so windy right now, but thank you for sticking it out. And I will see you guys next week with some more cool golf practice vlog stuff. Peace.